Expose, motherfuckers! And today we are highlighting my good friend, I'm sure he's your good friend too. I mean, I hope so. No Place for Us by Quentin. Show for you. We have talented actors coming to recite some of his poems, and then Glenn himself will be up here with a live band by the name of Bodega Cats. I said that right? Girl, Bodega. All right. And if you guys don't know, today is the last day of National Poetry Month. So why not, end it with a bang? You know what I'm saying? There's Monday. After that is Tuesday, and then it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You don't count this. It's what the fuck, you feel me?
Reflections. Stepping up, I looked at dark reflection and thought, I'm not worth it. Not yet wise, not yet pure, unperfected. Steadily hoping that on my next blink, what I see won't be me. For these thoughts danced in my head, agreed to something betwixt my soul with contact signed long ago, that I mistook for royal hardships when I released my crown, gave over my key, an embodiment of contentment being powerless, you see. Life can be easy, be simple, or what you will, unshaken by many when falling in line with those who have lost their time. Be ye with the drones, sufficed and unknown, no strife against order, boxed in, a guarantee. Lost in living a life sans joy, fathers dismantling their sons, no hope for our sisters, our mothers dejected, accepting this, drinking to false bliss. In loss of love, one yearns to go just unmissed. All systems a glitch, and you'll see yours when first waking, the true heart's kiss, and the rest is what we make it. Fear paralyzed me, cut ties to my intuition, and a faint voice told me to take a step, to breathe in my reflection. Silence the chaos to hear of my truth. I found myself hiding, attempting to latch on to what seemed right in this time, or that season for its light. Others' exterior never matching my whole interior, seeing then the chips of my guards peeling off piece by piece, till what remained was that ordained, never stained, nor untamed. Stepping out today seemed different. Air filled with purpose, bolden, newfound thoughts ensue for what I hear, bear to see, urge to feel, take to know, is all in my reflection of yesterday, present, and hereafter.
What happens when we wait? Drawn in, watching the lives of others, stuck in constant comparison, as every scroll reveals more and more of what we lack. See, the connectivity of these platforms caught a sickness, a human disaster. What happens to the multitude of voices, stifled in the fragility of glass spaces, false in their sharing, ease in their reach, no practice in one's speech, young prophets serving, outspoken, globally muted. And then there are those who unplug, silent martyrs to the generation, no harm done, only void in creation. The collective yearns for their pulse so distant, feels light years away, walking over and past them every day. True power lies in the collective, bloodlines crossed with race, grown from past futures of bliss.
NAS, what does that spell?
Banana.
Exactly. Sometimes life is bananas. Amen. Hallelujah. All of it. I tried to walk with faith, but don't know where he's at. Life historic, socially shown, absolute absurd, foreign, miles on miles, direction unclear. Just wise to know I don't fit in. So I sat with doubt, because she took me under, cradled me high, lift in ways to misconstrue, cause for repurposing soul's intent, drenched and drowned. Full force of cheese saunters in wind. And I missed love again. Heard she was in town, and when I rode in, was told she'd run off again. So at the lounge, I changed circumstance, and the lad for the night became a friend. He called himself Death, but he felt like life. So he took the night, then felt the plight. For my memory returned, where all life was heard, in sync and order with the saints of men. Swimming inside of Zay, I float simultaneously in peace with now. Desire lost, on thought to what's next, on breath, each moment reset. And my eyes came to, and I found myself here with you.
This is called If You Get the Call. If you get the call, they want you to come in to share the news and fear that your world will end. If you get the call, there's this clock that begins, set to cut off your years as though different from nature's intent. If you get the call, there's choice in glooming despair. Buy into the ostracization, ease in belief that blame is on me. If you get the call, play into humiliation. For we run from the sick, in shame to seem unfit. A backstory develops, one in agreement of unworthiness. Cause reason to hide now tainted, as though blood's unfit. Think yourself yet another statistic. Foolish at heart, unable to beat the odds. If you get the call, cry out all your sins, for this must be a curse, and repentance blisses it. If you get the call, take up arms and shield. The battlefield shifted, and you too with it. If you get the call, thoughts passed on lovers, those moments you touch, you kiss, when two turned into one sensual bliss. If you get the call, there's no going back after. Brick walls of disaster. This thing is all that matters. If you get the call, know that you're not alone. You now, you back then, you after, always and forever matter. If you get the call, live on and be brave, for others look to you for a step in direction. If you get the call, see into your good news. A new shade is lifted with the same words perspective. If you get the call, you're here today, and in now is your win. Choice in what's next is your loving acceptance.
You and me. Your tears are my tears. Let me hold your hand. The pain trapped inside can be released, if you will. So shall it be? Still, you should know I lend my hand. It seems as if life gets worse, but trust, you're almost on the other side. The final hurdle seems to last the most. Grip hard if you must, and take my hand. Those moments when you smile alone, when no one's watching and your breath is free. And the second you forget the past, and life is bliss, as though it should be. Still at your side, just in case you want a hand. If you could see into what I see, all doubt would fade and pride would beam. True strength and courage reigning triumphantly. Charge into the field and scream with glee. Your time is now, always, forever. Don your crown. The world takes the knee, offering hands abundantly.
I step to stand my ground and call out to my sister, "You're going the wrong way."
Moving forward, this breath I take to my little brother Kenny. This is where we belong.
We belong in our car with the AC and locked doors. Tanzania, safari, no place for us. No way in hell are we remotely authentic.
Never have we been with the earth in purest harmony. This ground where our ancestors gave birth, taught lessons, made love, celebrated deaths, we are finally home.
Looks nothing like this. Must you always get lost painting on surfaces? This is called a tour. Here we're just like simply passing by. Like holding a camera, waving hellos and goodbyes. Man, that was cool. Too bad I'm not an
African. Eyes closed, my hand on my chest. I hear this music, which makes me sway in joy. I smile, my heart in light. Home is where you learn true self-respect. I'm not going.
And so the music stops. Raised eyebrows, what?
I'm through searching. Year after year, finally, I know why my heart pounds.
Look, you promised you'd stop the bull. All right. Kenny, pull back. The past is exactly that. Fine. Take some time. Ain't nothing true in trying to be you.
Naomi dances the beats of the safari. To my little brother Kenny, come join me, dance in this melody.
Yeah, thinking, no.
But it's in your blood.
And all that you want to leave behind, pardon for the truth.
You were born with this beat.
Again, with the ethereal foolishnesses. Your grand generalizations, speaking separations, true. I was born with a heartbeat quite different from that of a drum.
If our parents could see you now.
They offered to come.
Not Patricia and Harold. The parents from which our spirits chose to make contact. From which we chose to enter a being of that nation. Patricia and Harold will never, I repeat, never be our real parents.
Our mom read us stories, cooked and took care of our health. Our father kept us in line. A brick of love, every bit our protection. Never forget, with them you grew from child to adult.
As children mirror adults, they look nothing like you. Red can never turn to blue.
Hooked on colors, all that makes you stand out. How your complexion makes you supreme. Ranking sets us further and further apart.
The continents shifted for a reason. Home is a place where kings marry queens. And a land to roam accepted. A place with written laws that make men free. Only makes the corrupted truth lying underneath.
Projection. Holding on to the past leads us nowhere fast. Jumping in a fight just to blend won't make me more or more or less black.
You're not.
Not.
Black. Just another whitewashed Negro on the heels of old master.
Mockingly. Watch me use the word Negro. Take forth the false frown to place upon my crown. Point a finger to say this and that happened long ago. When and only when will you let go and be present?
Shamefully. Blinded by your shudders. Will you ever really see? In the land of the free, 'twas never meant for you. I see clearly and far past your doe-eyed vision. No longer can I breathe in the tainted atmosphere.
I see that I'm me. And that's all I can be.
Hiding. Using an identity adapted from your assimilation.
Let's not forget the original Oreo. An unusual Britney Spears lookalike. Blonde Barbie's more fun. Ponders, really? You're a walking, talking imitator.
The imitation is in the denial of your differences. I was a different person then. With no introduction to my own community. I was only floating. Fooled into thinking I was swimming. You're steadily happy in your ignorance. Never have you been, never have you made an attempt to embrace your culture.
Look at what it's done to you. How about the fact that we're all just human? Universal truth. We're here to love. Living with hate slaughters family.
In the future, not soon after. Cruel law, war and disaster. The future seems dark. People of this place born without shackles. People of Africa.
Are liable, just as any other lost in the path to murder, rape, and occasionally eat cake too. Black isn't always right, neither is white consistently wrong. Or the other way around.
I'm not going back.
Our flight leaves in the morning.
I'm staying.
Bullshit, Naomi.
I'm having a son.
You're having a son.
A new African prince.
Call to my sister. And then you'll come home?
To my little brother Kenny.
I set out blood for blood. Minute to minute, I'm under attack.
You jail us.
Section house us.
Place stamps.
Limitations.
You don't know us.
I set out to make a change. To right wrong. But came back quite the same.
It seems you don't know how you came to be, how one can be soft and hard simultaneously. How your plans shake mountains when you take a stand and stars lose light from unnatural infractions. How your prowess be not your only gift, your wants not magic, just a conduit. Where choice in words bring forth honor or disgrace, and the rise of a nation lends on ultimate faith. When you draw in the morning, oh, how the spirits cheer as the drummers connect when your heart's intact. By walk, by step, lead on, know thy shield's within, gold of armor when you channel it. And if potions come to call, know mind and sound how to alter it. Let you never forget true choice was yours at the start of it.
I'm open, seeing your hair follicles swiftly, slowly floating past my face. I'm open, exhaling on your inhale just in case you ever run out of air. Yo, I'm open like that midnight can of soup you never could close again. Yeah. I'm open like looking through your eyes through 20/20 night and x-ray vision. I'm open when every moment we share lies in bookshelves next to the greatest love affairs. I'm open to the very glimpse of your smile, lighting up stars up in heaven, even candles down below. I'm open, soaring high in your embrace, safely landing on your kiss. Yo, I'm open for a slight chance in your blink alerts me when your heart skips another beat. I'm open when your whispers in my ear match up with any orchestra playing Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Yeah. I'm open making decisions with my mind. I'm open with making decisions with you in my mind, with you in my mind, with you in my mind. I'm halfway across the country, and still I have you in my mind, in my mind, in my mind. And every step, it feels like heaven when I have you on my mind, in my mind, in my mind. And I'm open to the idea of creating a permanent place for you in my mind. In my mind. In my mind. And every word I'll ever speak, you'll never hear when our communications lie unsound, for you had me open at.
I said what I said. I said what I said. Let my tongue run it over. Come dry all your dreams. I said what I said. I said what I said. Tortured your soul. Detach your feelings. When I stomped on your being. I said what I said. I said what I said. Cause you trusted I knew it. The power felt lifted. Abuse comes easily when you're intimately gifted. I said what I said. He said what he said. I said what I said. He said what he said. I said what I said. He said what he said. I said what I said. Then I saw your face. I thought my mistake. Then I knew I was twisted. To extend sentiments. Through the chapel erased. Another memory to write over. I
So, we got what up? The man who puts it down for raps, alright? This guy's phenomenal. Durant, take it.
You said it right!
Yo, I got the professional Brandon on the guitar. Yo, and on the drums, because we ain't really hear him on the drums yet. But my man Brick right here. To my left, on the guitar, we got Colin. And the world would not be the same if it were not for Mr. Jelani Dreams on the piano.
The book, No Place for Us.
Cool. So the original title to start with, or the working title, was originally called B4, and for me it meant like be loved, like be with people. And after working with my editor, Bianca Garcia, she was like, no place for us, and she was like, you can cut some of it. So that's Bianca, and so like she sort of she made me not she wanted me to know that like the sorrow and stuff that was in there was something that was important, and I didn't have to like look past it to see the other things that I actually do want to see within the world. So that's where No Place for Us came.
Alright. You said you cut some stuff out, right?
Yeah.
So like, is there any kind of like poem that you cut out that clearly we don't know about? And it's nasty, I want to know too.
No nasty poems.
Right, poetry.
However, so as we trimmed, we cut some of the fat. So sometimes like instead of having a couple stanzas, I only needed like one or two to still get across the same thing in that same poem. She helped really grasp the flow, and also acknowledge the call and response to each poem. And that's sort of like, if you read it through all the way through, that's sort of like what I'm working with in terms of like, it's like a conversation.
And now, if you guys don't know, the book has a 3-part breakdown, right?
Yeah.
Explain
And
that.
it's $15 right over here.
Girl, we know that. Not $15. So I saw it as 4 parts, and Bianca was like, no, it's 3 parts. And so like I sat with it, and eventually I was like, yeah, you're right, it's 3 parts. So the 3 parts are Sun, Moon, and Blue Planet. Sun is more so a lot of the reflections that I've been having on race currently. Moon is my reflection on love, where I was at the time, and Blue Planet is where I'm at with community and what I want to see. Glenn is so damn nice. Makes me sick sometimes. He's so nice. Now, Glenn, you a director, you an actor, you a producer. Yeah. You might as well be a damn motivational speaker at this point, because he helped me out with some things, you know what I'm saying? And so why a poetry book and like not a novel?
You know, poetry's been with me since I was like a kid. I read a poem, and I would like run around and be like, hey, read this poem, this is at home. And like they put it up on like the refrigerator, and like they're like, okay, cool, we heard your poem. Keep it moving. It really, in terms of like not doing a novel first, I think poetry for me is actually more bearing of like my soul. And a novel, I can sort of like, I can hide. I can like put characters on. But poetry sort of like comes from the essence of where I'm at.
So like, what kind of like themes you highlight on about that?
Themes.
Yeah.
Oh, juicy.
Juicy, right?
Yes.
You know, like, I don't hear you. There's deep connections to where I'm at with love, how I feel about love.
Oh, I know. You gotta read the moon, cause that one, if you and your feelings and the man messed up, and read the moon, oh girl.
It's just water. It's just water.
Read the moon.
So yeah, like I said, so like community, race, and love. Those are the themes that really resonated with me at this point in time. And I think writing sort of like can write to speak to what I see and what I would like to see.
Now, this is my last question, so make it good. What you answer. Now, Dear John is your favorite poem, yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
So, I wrote Dear John my second year of college. It was actually the first time I like had written something that I was what you call like spoken word. And I didn't even know what I was writing. I was just like writing, and it came out. I showed it to my professor, and he was like, "Yo, this is dope. This is like Shakespeare." And I was like, "Word." And so yeah, so you know, like I'm all like I was in my feelings. I was like, "Oh, for real, bro? Okay." So it like some of the poems are like poems like, hey, you read that, whatever. And some of the poems are spoken. They're spoken poems. They're meant to be said out loud. They're meant to touch, move, and inspire. So Dear John's my favorite because if I felt that if everyone in the world could see each other as though we're all connected and we belong on this planet together because we're here, the world will be a better place.
Well, you heard the man. He said what he said. And that's all I have. You know, I'm open to take 2 questions because there's too many of y'all in this place. I give you guys 2. No, we do 2. We get to 9:30. We got jam out and start some order rest. You know what I'm saying? All right. Frank.
You can ask your question later.
This is the question.
All right, so clearly,
You better take that mic. Amen.
because you know it's about to be a little preachy. I can't wait to get on the train and read it. Clearly, your soul has ascended. You are one, and it's beautiful. From what I heard, I just can't wait to be on the train to just listen. You know, we're going through a constitutional crisis right now in America. But in your poem, Dear John, you say you saw peace, which is beautiful because what's on the media right now, all we see is the negative. But there's a few of us out there that we do see the positive. And you might say, you gotta ascend and wake up. So,
He put his hands on you.
So my question for you, Glenn, is how much of this is politically based, and where do you see the environment moving forward?
Go with your media training.
Thanks. So I think everyone has a responsibility to their community to be the change that you want to see within the world.
Come on.
So I think just starting there. So it starts with yourself, and once you're in love with you, you can be in love with everyone else.
I'm gonna get back to you. Yeah, you right there? I saw you wave your hand. Yeah, cup.
I know she had a question now.
I got a question. Wait, hold up. Oh, sorry. Y'all his friends. Cool hands.
That's real.
171 in the
Oh, I
building.
just go.
She said,
One of my favorite poems is Forgiveness. And at first read, it comes off like, okay, you had a fight with your loved one or a significant other, you're asking for forgiveness. but it comes off a little deeper than that now that I see it perform. So where does it come from?
Thank you.
So yeah, I've said some things that sometimes like I think you can regret saying things. I think there's a lot of things that go on in our brain, and I think when you know things, and sometimes it's like it's better just like to know it and not like give voice to it. So I said what forgiveness. That came after like a real big fight, where I felt like I didn't know myself, and because of that, like I had to like kind of work back to figure out like how do I want to continue being responsible with like every action that I take, and that's my words at the end of the day. So, yeah.
I guess we do one more because Glenn wants to. Okay, y'all as friends though. We need someone out there for
I don't care about that.
Okay, cool. No one else. Sorry. Damn, sorry.
He was a friend.
Right.
This nigga just.
Mine really is about this whole production. Why have other people read your work, and how is it combining something you've just written and performing with musicians? And
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. So this evening was called Collection Exposed, and honestly, like the aim is to do more of these, to do them with different authors, different poets, and to give life to what's on the page. Why have it with other readers is because this book specifically for me was meant to give voice to like universal conversations. So yeah, this is something I was having intimately, but I feel that on the page, like more than myself can connect to it. And so it was important that other voices other than my own were heard through it. And also let me hear things too. Which is like kind of phenomenal. Like, you know, you can just sit back and just listen to something. You're like, oh, did I write that? I don't know. So like, it's always a really great experience. And with the band, so the story behind the band, Jelani Dreams, back here. So you want to make sure to look out. What's it called again?
Piano Lab.
So Piano Lab. I've been drinking. So okay. So watermelon. Alright. So Piano Lab is a web series that's coming out. Jelani he reached out to different spoken word artists, different rappers, different musicians, and basically like we had jam sessions. And in our jam sessions, we just like found different things. And so like the idea was to come into this space, kind of like blank, and just like kind of be and find things. We remember on this band because we give each other the permission to be as freely as we want to be. There's no sense of like you're not doing it right. There's just like come in, like let's jam, let's figure some stuff out, and like if it sticks, it sticks. And so yeah, I'm really grateful because this night it increased tremendously with the aid and with the collaboration with so many people. So I think we're done. So again, I want to say thank you to each and every one of you who are here this evening. It's kind of crazy. I'm looking at all you guys and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? So I am deeply humbled. I'm extremely grateful. So thank you. You got any closing thoughts?
Is you done? I got closing thought.
Okay. Well, my boy over here got closing thoughts. So over here is closing thoughts.
Well, first of all, give me your website.
Oh, my website is www.glenn, G-L-E-N-N, Quentin, Quentin.com.
Wait, Quentin.
Yep.
That's all? I mean, you can find everything there. It's there.
No, okay.
Yeah, don't talk about that.
Well, that being said, I am very. I'm talking to you.
What's up?
I'm proud of you, friend. It's not easy publishing a book, you know what I'm saying? I could barely write a Bible my damn self. And so to have a published book, that's pretty lit.
Yeah.
Seriously though,
Yes,
seriously
it
though. And so now it's time to celebrate, motherfuckers! Nah, joking, stop joking. I'm so proud, and let's have some drinks and let's jam out. Get you a drink if you got one. Get a drink if you got one. Spread love. Open your wallet. Forget blood on hard, baby. See, now you better say that everybody else is.
Complete. There we go. Confirmation.